There's a room in your house right now that you keep spotless and you almost never walk into. The bed in it gets slept in about 4 nights a year, perhaps. There's probably a shelf of trophies nobody has touched since 2011. That's called empty nesting. The children grew up, they moved out, and the house they grew up in is still standing here, exactly the same size, arranged exactly the same way for 2 people instead of 5. Does that sound familiar to you? Most people's answer to that is to sell. Before you do, give me 6 minutes, because there are 6 fixes that make a big house fit again. And the last one changes how the whole place works. That's the crucial one that will change your mind about all of this, so stay with me for it. Fix 1. The room with a 1 job a year. Let's start in the bedroom. So I'm not here to tell you to clear it out. After all, what's in the wardrobe is none of my business. The problem is architectural. You're giving at least 15% of your home to a room that gets used about 1% of the time. And no amount of tidying fixes the ratio. The fix is pretty simple. It's just a room with more than 1 job. That could be a study, a library, sewing room, a music room, whatever you've been saying you'd love. If only you had a space, well, that's the room. And still a proper guest room when the family comes back. What makes it work is a good wall bed built into joinery, with shelves either side. 10 feet by 8 is plenty in my mind. Your guests still get a real bed. You get the room back for the other 360 days. Fix 2. The dining room nobody dines in. Everybody recognizes this instantly, right? It's the formal dining room. The good china, the table nobody sits at. The room you walk straight past on your way to eat dinner in the kitchen like you have every night for 11 years. It's usually the best proportioned room in the house. It's got good ceilings and good windows, and you're using it as an expensive corridor with chairs in it. So why don't you make it the room you actually need and want? That could be anything you like, for example a garden room, or a library, I love books, or a second sitting room that isn't pointed at a television. At Christmas you can bring out an extending table. 1 lunch a year shouldn't really get its own room. Fix 3. A living room built for 5. Do me a favor, go and count your seats in your living room. Most family homes have 6 to 9, all aimed at a screen, because for 20 years people came in at different times and needed somewhere to land. I bet 2 people don't live like that anymore. 2 people read, listen to music, talk, and occasionally watch something together. So the fix is about geometry. Fewer, better seats. 2 chairs facing each other about 8 feet apart, close enough to talk without raising your voice. And a second focus in the room that isn't a television screen. That could be a fireplace, a window with a real view, a piano, a reading corner with its own lamp. That question, what is the room actually pointing at, is one of the key questions I normally ask without touching any wall in anyone's property. I've put these critical questions in a free checklist. You can scan the QR code on screen if you're watching me on the TV, or click on the link up here. You can walk your own house with this free checklist tonight. It's quite fun and I believe is also helpful. All the links in the description below. From there, you can also book my new service. It's international and it's an online one-to-one consultation called Casa Reset. Fix 4. A kitchen sized for packed lunches. I bet your kitchen was designed around volume. Big American fridge, big freezer, cupboards still full of the plastic boxes that used to carry sandwiches to school. Cooking for 2 is a completely different activity. Smaller, slower, and honestly far more enjoyable. And most kitchens are still set up to feed a rugby team on a Tuesday. So I pull everything into one really good prep zone with the things you use daily within reach. Then I'd put a table for 2 by the best window in the room. That's because eating somewhere pleasant every single day beats a dining room you use once a year. All that storage you no longer need becomes a pantry, a bookshelf, maybe that doorway that finally opens the kitchen to the garden. Fix 5. The floor you only visit to clean. Do me another favor here. Go upstairs and be honest about how many rooms you entered this week for no reason other than just cleaning them. In a lot of empty nest houses, an entire floor has gone dormant. You're still hitting it though, still insuring it, still hoovering it, and still paying for it. It's the most expensive dust in the house. Sometimes the answer is a conversion, so that floor becomes one generous space instead of 3 sad ones. You can turn it into a studio, a hobby floor, maybe a guest suite that earns its keep. But sometimes the answer is something completely different, which really brings me to the last point. Fix 6. Rebalance the house onto one level. Here's the one I promised you. Ask yourself a question almost nobody asks about their own home. Could your daily life happen on one floor? I'm talking about sleeping, washing, cooking, sitting, all of it downstairs. And to be clear, I love stairs. Climbing them every day is some of the best free exercise a house will ever give you. And I've said so on this channel before a few times, so go and check these videos out. The difference is that the stairs become something you choose, rather than something the house demands. Look at your ground floor and ask whether one room could become a bedroom one day, and whether there's a bathroom down there, or at least the pipework to add one. The moment your life could fit downstairs, the upstairs stops being a burden and becomes a decision you need to make. You can close it off and stop hitting it. You can let a lodger take in it. You can rent it out. You can give it to an adult child saving for a deposit. I mean, there's so many options you can do. You could turn it into the studio you'd wanted for 30 years. I think that splitting your house in 2 levels and maybe, as I said, rent one is one of the best options to future-proof your house, which also means you don't need to sell it. The core message of this video is that your house isn't too big. The problem is that it's still shaped around the family that no longer lives there. So what you need to do is to make sure that it's now shaped around yourself and the future self. Again, if you'd like your own plan looked at through an architect's eyes, that's what I do at Casa Reset, and the free checklist is the place to start. Link below and QR code on screen for those of you who watch me on TV screen. Tell me in the comments below which one of these fixes you think you can apply to your home right now. Have you done it already, or are you actually thinking to sell the house? I read every single comment, and I think it's the best way to create a community of people that love their homes. As always, if you like my content, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. I post every week on Sundays, so until the next video, ciao.